Hello everyone, Siege Link here, back with the next stage of the Blast Austin Major Pickems. So, stage 1, I got 3 correct. It was actually kind of similar to the first stage of the Shanghai Major, except instead of playing from behind, where like Complexity and Cloud9 faced each other in the 1-2, screwing my chances, and even Complexity lost to Big, I actually had 4 of the teams that I had making it through face each other in the 2-1. So I had 3 guaranteed, but I just needed whoever lost to win the next one, and that was OG Energy and Bet Boom Wildcard. And unfortunately, both of them lost. Not only that, but all of these were 2-0s that did not go the way of the betting odds. Like, I assumed Wildcard would be like this one. I was a lot more confident with than NRG. And to be honest, I assumed that NRG versus Lin Vision, these were two kind of momentum based teams. Like, this was a matchup where it's like the first pistol could determine the game, and this is the last matchup I would have expected would have gone 22-20. If anything, I would have expected it to be a wild card match, given it was Bet Boom that they had double overtime against. Well, technically triple overtime. You had 2 games where it was overtime, and then a double overtime and a single overtime. But yeah, I don't really regret my picks. On paper, it's like, well, Complexity. Well, here's the thing, right? I said in the video I expect Complexity to either face Heroic, or, like, there's a good chance they're either going to face Heroic, or if they lose round 1 against OG, especially badly, which they did, they're not going to qualify, and the 3-0 doesn't screw you up as much, which was the case. And there was 3 teams you could have picked to go in 3-0. Bet Boom was the most common, Wildcard was the second most common, and Bait was the third most common. So very few people got Bait correct, and if I did put a team going 3-0, it would have been Wildcard, which I guess also wouldn't have screwed me that much because they didn't end up making it either. But it still wouldn't have changed anything. I definitely wouldn't have put any of these 3 teams going through. I mean, I saw some people put like Taiwu Legacy. I don't think I saw anyone put. Actually, I did see a couple people put Lin Vision in. And Nejima, I assumed Mesoport was like slightly better than Nejima, and same with OG. I got OG correct, Bet Boom correct. NRG I was just kind of being hopeful on, but I knew they likely, or there was a chance they couldn't make it. Chinggis Warriors, I did think there was a chance they could win a match. Turns out they ended up facing each other in the match that most people had both going 0-3. And then, yeah, to be honest, I also don't regret my Mesoport pick, because if I was going to pick someone outside of Mesoport, it would have been most likely Imperial, if not FlyQuest, so I wouldn't have gotten anything correct there. Now, stage 2, oh boy. So, I really don't know what I'm going to do here, because, first of all, there's 11 hours. I don't have time, to be blunt. I'm going to work tomorrow. By the time I wake up, it's probably going to be over. I've got to make my pick'ems now. And so many teams could qualify. So many teams could go 3-0. So many teams could go 0-3. To start off, I'm just going to kind of talk about the teams I think are going to qualify, and then I'm going to kind of move up from there. To start, I'm only going to talk about 1-3-0, and that's Falcons. Most people are going to have Falcons going through. I do think they could lose a match, but they're the first seed, and pretty much all of their matches are easy. Like, I think round 1 they're facing Bait, I think, and even Bait did do pretty good. I mean, they 3-0'd, but I don't see Bait beating Falcons. Like, I mean, if you look at how they got to the 3-0, they nearly lost to Imperial round 1, so I think you can make an argument for Bait not making it at all. And then, most people, from what I can tell, are probably going to be putting FaZe Clan 3-0. I'm going to say this. I'm actually not sure as of right now. And I'm going to talk a little later. I'm going to talk a little later about this pick. 0-3s. This is tough because I think it's going to come down to 4 teams. And I think it's going to come down to entirely to one match. And that's Taiwu versus M80. Whoever loses here could very likely go down 0-3. But I think both teams are pretty bad. Both teams have a strong chance of going 0-3. And it's kind of a 50-50 of who's going 0-3. And because of that, I don't want to put either of them going 0-3. And the worst thing is that if Taiwu does win, and M80 goes down, they're likely going to go up against the other 2 teams I think are going to go 0-3. I think it's going to be between M80, Lin Vision, Taiwu, and Legacy. I've seen quite a few other people do this. I'm going to make the same pick'ems. I'm going Lin Vision and Legacy. Lin Vision, they're a pretty, like, momentum-based team, and they're facing Furia round one. I mean, in a weird world, they could win that because Furia has choked at the major. But I mean, we saw Fluxo choke, and that was with art on it. So I think it's safe to say that Furia's kind of gotten rid of their curse a little bit in that regard. But then again, they did get rid of Skulls, and Skulls is one of the top players on Furia. But apparently their new guy's also been doing really good too, so... Like, I'm not confident in any of the 0-3s either, really. Because again, if you're between three, usually there's one consensus pick and they can kind of 50-50 between the others. We could see it be like this. We could also see this happen. So that's very tough. But because other people have done it, and because I don't want to put a 50-50 0-3, I'm going to put Lin Vision Legacy going 0-3. I do think that they could potentially win a match. To be honest, if M80 does win, I think Legacy is going to get the worst matchups for the most part, from what I'm seeing. Lin Vision also is just getting, like, it's just going to come down to, like, they're getting bad matchups. Like, yes, Legacy can have, like, a really good game here and there. Like, I mean, or same with Lin Vision. Like, Lin Vision destroyed Legacy, and they did good against, I think it was FlyQuest in Stage 1. Oh no, it was NRG, and it was Taiwu against FlyQuest. So yeah, I mean, some of these teams, especially the Asian teams, they can have some surprise games, but that's against teams that aren't really too good. Like, when you look at the teams that went 3-0 and 0-3, they didn't do good. I mean, Lin Vision, to be fair, got really close against Wildcard, which was a surprise. Taiwu, I mean, Taiwu got destroyed by NRG and OG, but they destroyed Mesoport, and Complexity really wasn't on their game this major. So there's that. So the 0-3s are really risky. 3-0, again, Falcon's the only team I'm confident with. I wouldn't even put Falcons 3-0 if it wasn't for Monacy coming over to join in the duo of Nico Monacy. But again, I don't really have too big of an explanation for my 0-3s or my 3-0s because I'm just not confident with them. I think a lot of people aren't really too confident with their picks right now. So I'm going to talk about the teams I think are going to go through and then talk about who I'm going to put 3-0. FaZe and Heroic, one of them is guaranteed to lose round 1 because they're facing each other. So one of them has a 0% chance after round 1 to not be going 0-3. Whoever doesn't could very well be going 3-0. And FaZe Clan, I think, is going to be probably the most favorite, like the biggest favorite to go 3-0. The problem is FaZe does so much worse in the group stages, especially recently. Like they've gotten to the finals of the playoffs twice, but they were 3-2 in the group stage in Shanghai. So I mean, it's really tough putting them 3-0. I really want to put them 3-1, but I might have to put them 3-0. Coming up next, I was going to put VP, but honestly I'm not sure because of their recent results have been pretty bad. I'm going to go Furia 3D Max. I think both these teams just... I mean, Furia is losing Skulls, like I mentioned, but they do have a pretty good player as a replacement. And 3D Max has been kind of just a surprise. They did do kind of poor at the last major, but it wasn't at this stage. It was at the third stage, which was the second stage back then. And I think against the teams, I mean, you can make an argument for them going 3-0, to be honest with you. And I think because they're one of those teams that's going to, like, start near the top of the bracket, because of that, like, if you think a team's going to go 2-0, but you don't think they're going to go 3-0, it's risky to put them not qualifying. And I think that's kind of the case with 3D Max. Furia could not make it, or might not make it, is a better way to say it, but their matches are kind of all over the place. But I mean, to be honest, they only really need to win like one kind of coin flip match. And I do think that they are probably better, even with losing Skulls, I still think they're probably better than Pain and MIBR. And Legacy. I think they're just better than the rest of the South American teams. And then these last two positions, to be honest, I think you can make an argument for VP, Pain, MIBR, Bait, Bet Boom, OG. Nejima's the only question mark for me. Taiwu, I don't think you, and Taiwu and M80, I don't think you can make an argument for. I think I did see, I think it was Austin, who a Flom's teammate, I be getting his name wrong, who put M80 through, which I'm definitely not doing. I think they could very well go 0-3. But the thing is, Pain I would put not qualifying, but to be honest, Pain just has a surprisingly like good matchups. I mean, there's if they beat Nejima, there's a good chance they could go 2-0, which is crazy to think about because I've viewed Pain as kind of like the lower ranked version of FaZe Clan back before the Shanghai Major, where like they were losing to all the top teams, but they were beating all the teams, like all like the tier 2 and 3 teams, but teams that were in like top 8 to top 16, they were like a coin flip against. OG is a big question mark for me because Nikodas has been carrying quite a bit, and I'm not sure if he can carry at this stage. I definitely don't think he can carry at stage 3, but I think because they have that carry and he hasn't slowed down, and it's not like the rest of the team's terrible, right? The rest of the team is hitting on all cylinders as well. They're not necessarily the best, but with the carry, that's just never going away. I think I probably will put OG through. And I think it's probably going to be between Bait and Bet Boom. Axile has really not performed that well, so I kind of don't want to put Bet Boom going through. But Bait's a team I also really don't have confidence with. MIBR is kind of like... I actually think MIBR is probably slightly better than Pain, but the thing is that I think they're pretty close, and MIBR actually has a worse bracket. Like, they're going to have a lot more, like, rough matches. And there's also quite a few scenarios which they face Pain and Furia, which they could very well lose. Oh, man. I could put both if I put FaZe 3-0. I feel like I might have to do that. I really want to put both these guys through. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So before I make my final pick, I want to talk about something I was planning on doing. Do not take this pick'em seriously. I was planning on potentially throwing one of my 3-0s. This is something that I never advise doing unless it's a very, very specific situation, okay? Let's say I put Taiwu or like M80 If I was to do this, it's not me saying, oh, I think they're going to go 3-0. It's that I don't think they're going to qualify. I don't think they're going to qualify. I don't think they're going to go 3-0, and I don't think they're going to go 0-3s. I think they're going to go 1-3 or 2-3. By doing this, you basically save one potential pick'em. Because let's say, right, that I pick FaZe and Falcons, right? If I pick FaZe and Falcons, and let's say that the 3-0s end up being Heroic and 3D Max, okay? That's 4 your pick'em screwed. And if you get both 0-3s correct, which I think there's a chance I might, then you can only possibly get 4 correct. And that's not good because that means it's impossible for you to get your pick'ems correct. If you get both 3-0s and both 0-3s correct, you pretty much have no chance of getting it correct unless one of the teams you didn't have qualifying at all ends up going 3-0, which is very unlikely. So sometimes throwing a 3-0 could be good to some extent, because that means that you effectively gain one spot in terms of a team that you can have qualifying normally. The problem with this is that you're basically saying that one of them is just not going to occur. And sometimes, like in the case with me, with VP, I had Liquid VP in the first stage of Shanghai going through, and VP didn't end up making it, which I thought they most likely would go either 3-0 or would qualify. I was very surprised when they didn't make it. And to be fair, FaZe Clan has gone 0-3 before, and even lost to Bad News Eagles. So I think... the thing is, right, I think that FaZe Clan, if they beat Heroic, which is a big if, they are favored in every match to come no matter the matchup because of their 2 seed. And they also can't face Falcons as long as they win. Yeah, there's basically no world in which they face Falcons for the most part. Like Heroic, if Heroic wins against FaZe Clan, there's a chance they could face Falcons. It's not super likely, but they could. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because my phone's down there. I've got the bracket generator up. So the thing is, I think you have to basically put FaZe or Heroic. FaZe, Heroic, or maybe like 3D Max going 3-0, or you have to kind of throw it. Throwing it's very risky, but it can be worth it. You know what? I said the same thing about Vitality, and that's why I didn't have them. I said that Vitality was quite a bit worse in the group stage compared to playoffs, and that's why I put Spirit Navi going 3-0 last time around when it ended up being Vitality and Mongols. If I went Navi Vitality, I would have gotten one correct there. So, as much as I think that FaZe could lose and potentially, I mean, they could lose round one, and I still think they're probably most likely going to make it. But if they don't lose round one, I think they're favored in every match. They might not win every match after that, but they're favored every match. So it's a risk, but I'm going to go 3-0 on Falcons and FaZe Clan. So teams remaining. Heroic, easily through. Then Furia, 3D Max. These 5 teams are the 5 teams I'm probably most confident with. 3D Max, they're a surprise team. I mean, no one really expected them to get this high, and they've just jaw-dropped. Like, no one's... I just don't even know what to say about 3D Max. Like, I've never even watched that many of their games, but they just always do so well. They beat some of the top teams, not always, but a good chunk of the time. And VP I would put, but honestly, their results recently have been really bad. So, I'm going to put OG because the team's solid and Nikodas is playing insane. If I don't go VP, which I kind of don't want to because they also kind of cursed me last Shanghai, like I had them going 3-0 and they ended up not qualifying at all, which was still kind of fine, but if they lost in that group stage, like they lost to a lot of teams they shouldn't have, and they've done surprisingly good without James as well, but it's still a question mark for me. Exile is risky for Bet Boom, but I think this might be my Pickems. M80 is going to be, I think, the number one thing to watch. M80 and FaZe Heroic. If FaZe wins, I think they probably do go 3-0. But Heroic beat them pretty badly the last time they faced, and that's what's worrying me. So I really hope FaZe gets the revenge there. And then M80, I really need them to win. Because if they lose, then they're likely going up against Legacy, and they could lose that and immediately screw my 0-3 there. And if they do lose there is a chance that they could go up against Lin Vision, I think. And actually not likely. So Lin Vision seems pretty confident. I'm pretty confident in Lin Vision, actually. I'm really not confident in these pick'ems because I think basically all of the teams here, as well as these 3 teams here, and even Nejima in a weird world could make it. And I think 0-3, these 2 teams along with Taiwu and M80 could make it. I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to go with this. This is the first time that I might change it like outside of the video if I learn something, or maybe I just redo the video. I mean, I'm kind of just talking like out of my ass right now. Like, I'm not really structured like I was last time around, but that's because this stage is just all over the place, man. Because it's not even really like the teams, it's just the matchups, especially round 1. Like FaZe Heroic, it would be easy to put one of those teams going 3-0 if they weren't facing each other. And that's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that FaZe wins round 1, because if they do, they have a better bracket to get to 3-0. Whereas if Heroic win round 1, they're going to have harder matchups getting there. So, this is a really risky pick'em. But I also have seen other people do this exact 3-0 and 0-3. So I at least know that if I get none of these correct, a lot of other people aren't getting these correct, which I'm okay with. So I hope y'all enjoyed. It's just been kind of a ramble, but I mean, some other people's videos are like this too. So hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in stage 3.